Hey guys, welcome to a new movie. Today we're doing Sinners. This is with Michael B. Jordan. This is a movie looks interesting and looked like a horror type movie. You didn't know what it was. I'm like, it looked like a vampire, but I wasn't sure until I actually saw the movie. I will say forewarning, just in case you don't know. There are vampires, but I think the trailer does show kind of like, it looks like vampires, so it's not super that insane. But I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but I feel like that's kind of the main thing. So it's like, of this movie, so it's hard to that count as a spoiler, but just in case. But enjoy watching this movie. I like this. This is one of the movies I liked more than I thought I would. Not that I didn't think it would be bad, but by the end of it, I liked it, and I liked it more than I thought I did. So let's jump into this movie. This movie is about, obviously, this boy. I forget where exactly where it starts off. It starts off kind of like near the end of the movie, where this boy is going into this church, and he's all beaten up and stuff, and his dad runs the church. He's like, the devil has done this stuff to you, whatever. But that's done, then we cut back to what happened the day before, and what the hell happened to him. And he is a person who is picking the fields and doing all this stuff, and he has, like, to play the guitar and stuff, and guitar, or it's like a fiddle, I don't know what it is, but I think like a guitar, it could be some type of instrument like a guitar. I don't know specifically a guitar, like an instrument like that, banjo, whatever the case may be. He played like the blues and stuff, he likes playing the blues, and his dad doesn't like him playing that stuff, and doesn't go off to do this thing. But he eventually goes off with these two other guys who are cousins of his, and they're like the guys who go around and like kind of like, don't mess with us, Slick, and I forget who the other one's called, Slick and the other guy, but one of them played Michael B. Jordan. I like to both play Michael B. Jordan because they are kind of like cousins. I think they're both played by somebody different. Unless they are both played by the same guy, they could be, but I don't think they are. But it's pretty cool. So they go off, and then they go eventually. They bought this place, and they're gonna be like, we're gonna turn it into this little juke joint place, and then they eventually have to go around and get people to help play and do stuff and walk there and like get all this stuff going and all this and get people to know about us so they can come. Eventually they do, and they get this party going, and the boy plays there and all this stuff. And then eventually stuff happens. The party's going well, and then we cut at one point in the movie to this person who's running up to this house, and we find out like, hey, you gotta hide me, all this stuff that these people asked me. And then he goes in like, hey, you snot. And then the guys come who are going after him. Well, I would say good guys, because knowing what this person is, they're the good guys. They're like Indians or something, but like, hey, let us in. This is thing. We know you should see it. And they basically go because like, okay, we're not gonna force ourselves in and do stuff for you. You don't want us to. They leave, and then he goes back and finds out the husband died, and he's a vampire, and he killed him, and now he's turned, and he gets turned, and then they find out about this party because they talk about music and playing it so good or whatever it be that it opens up a veil to the evil, and then obviously that's why the vampires come to get the boy and stuff. And that's when they come and try to get in, and then like they don't let them in. What obviously I like how they're keeping the thing of not you have to let the vampires in. Like how they're doing that rule with the vampires, because not all vampire movies are like that, where you have to be invited actually in. Some don't have to do that depending on what vampire stories we're doing, but they do the old school time with like you have to invite the vampire in, and garlic and all that stuff does hurt them and stuff, and all the normal stakes and all the traditional vampire stuff you get in this movie, and that's great. So they have to figure out eventually, obviously, they turn people. Starting off with this the only like, technically not the only, but the party is all black people, just to make it clear. I think we saw the trailer. Everybody in this party is all like for the black people, because this is back in like I want to say 32 or something like that. 32 or something. It's very like old with like blacks on one side, whites on the other side. It's very segregated stuff. So it's all black. There's one white person here. Girl, but she is like knows the people and likes one of the guys and stuff. So it's a little more, she's okay being there and stuff, but eventually sees the first one who gets turned. She goes out to talk to the guys. Like, she's like, hey, go out and talk to them because they have money and stuff. We can walk them out. And then eventually she gets attacked, and she comes in, and they let her in because they don't know she's a vampire. And then she attacks one of the cousins who are technically like, they say the cousins, but I think they're brothers or whatever. And they attacks him, and then obviously they have to get her. She goes down, we're gonna kill every last one of you. And then eventually, like, everybody leaves, and then more people get turned, and eventually it gets to where everybody gets turned, and people keep losing people, and it's like, it's a good movie. It's good. It's the thing like who's gonna make it, who's gonna die, and by the end what happens. And eventually at the end, all the vampires do get their comeuppance. Most of the vampires get the comeuppance, except for two, what we'll talk about in a second. But get the comeuppance, and the brother has to fight his brother and stuff, and it's all great. And so many people die, and like he has to kill the person who is like her like person he cares about, the girl he cares about, because him and her had a son, and he died, and he kills her, because like she's like, hey, if I get turned, you gotta kill me. And she kind of says that on him immediately, and he had to do that. So he had to do a bunch of crazy shit, and I feel like he was like, I'm going to do this. If he wants me to do it, I'm going to do it, and that's a very hard thing to do. Kill somebody you love in that way, especially in that way. It's like really hard to do, but he did. It's great. So he has to deal with a bunch of stuff with his brother, and then there's that. He just gets a lot of it, and he does care about the boy or the kid. He does care about him, and he tries to help him because he does care about him and stuff. And it's really great. The movie's great, and eventually at the end, like I say, all the vampires do die. They wait till Sunday morning, and some of them die before then because they get stabbed into the heart and stuff. But he did kill. They eventually all get the come of just him and the boy. The boy runs off, goes back home, and then the brother stays there to attack because we find out during the movie that the two guys, the two vampires that the guy turned in first, like the main vampire who's kind of running everything, they were gonna come to this place and attack him because they're about the Ku Klux Klan members, and they were going to attack him. And the guy who stole in the place was all just a big scam, and we're gonna kill them all. So he comes with all the guys and finds out like, what? Did they not kill everybody? What the hell's going on? And eventually the brother has a gun and goes out and shoots and basically kills all the guys who are Ku Klux Klan members and bad people. So I'm like not against him doing that. It's cool fight, him killing them all, and he gets them all at the end. He does get them all at the end, and then he does die and goes to see like the ghost of his wife with the doll. He's like, I want to hold it and stuff. This is a very nice ending for that kid. He goes out in a way I like it, and then the boy grows up and it shows him. Then it comes back to when he goes into his chair, all beaten up and stuff, and then he goes to the future. It's 1992, and he's old, and he's been playing, and he's still playing and stuff, and he's playing in this bar, and he's at the thing, and these two people come in, and it's the other brother, who he did not kill, and the girl he liked, the white girl he liked, and they were saying, so they're still alive, and he was like, hey, I made a deal with your brother not to kill you, and you go off, and then at the end, he's like, hey, you could turn into a vampire, and you could be okay, and you can live forever. I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but I'm like, I don't want to do that. I've lived my life, and he's like, fine. Well, they're like, well, you're fine. We're like, okay, that's cool. Do what you want. We're not gonna force you to be a vampire. Before, we're it's your choice. We gave it to your brother. Let me go. So we give you that choice. So that's fun. So I think I don't consider them completely bad guys. And I know when you come in, you sometimes have to drink blood and do stuff and maybe turn people and do stuff, so you can't, so I'm not gonna be 100% they're evil, because once you get turned, it's kind of can't really call you evil or not. But it's a good movie. I like it. So what you guys think? I've said this. Let me know in the comments down below. This movie is really good. I actually might give it a 9. I think it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I was debating on 8, but I'm I think it has a little bit of extra that gives me that 9 push. Where give me a 9. It's good. I like it. What you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Tell me what movies you've been seeing in the comments down below as well. And you guys can always stay epic. See you in the next movie, you guys. Bye.